I think we're getting to that point now where we have the manpower, we have the spirits that are willing and able, we have the resources now with the support of the Booster Club, all right? We need that support, all right? IUIC.fundraising at IsraelUnite.org. Continue to support and help us out as we do that.
And brothers and sisters, we can't emphasize enough, when you see the shorts and you see the videos going up, please share, like, subscribe, comment. This helps reach people that haven't seen the videos before, haven't heard our teachings before, and Lord's will, a soul can repent from just you sharing the video. That's a big deal. So don't take it lightly, all right?
Right, even if you don't understand the language, like, share. When we push that stuff out there, subscribe, comment every time we put a video out. That's going to bring the attention when someone's searching for whatever keywords and triggers, and they'll find that IUIC Ecuador page. Or when we go to Guatemala, or when we go to Belize, wherever it is, all right? Empirios que tenían poder en esos tiempos, todos sabían que ese es su Dios.
Acabo de aprender. Los hermanos estamos aquí diciendo lo que ustedes son de la tribu de quién.
De Israel.
No podemos condenar, pero sí podemos juzgar.
Vamos a tratar de ayudar al hermano tuyo que vive aquí en tu casa.
Se acabó. Llegó la verdad.
Esa es la ley que Dios nos dio.
¿Qué color era Cristo?
Negro.
Dios nos desechó por la idolatría. Pero ahora ha llegado el momento. Estuvieron ociosos hasta la 11ª hora. 10 partes del tabernáculo se levantan. Perdidos estuvimos. Éramos gentiles. Idólatras fuimos. Pero ahora
Somos la gente de Dios, sabios, que no está en la Biblia.
Para mí son Dios, no es un Dios.
somos el reino del norte de Israel.
And the sticks whereon thou writest shall be in thine hand before thine eyes.
That prophecy is fulfilled today.
Right.
All right? You've seen who those 12 tribes really are.
Yeah.
Not that imposter, that Jewish person that lives over there in our land. What I was not aware of is that I think it's between 4 to 6 years that these two brothers have been here, and they've not been visited, they've not been touched, but now we're here. Lord's will, the watering needs to happen, and we're going to go ahead and continue to follow up and send men out.
Deacon Abiel had camp out here. You didn't have camp out here?
No. I think Deacon Abiel had passed through one time.
Yes.
Yeah, in civies.
But it's good.
He was in civilian attire.
But it is.
And he passed through.
It is good that we're here breaking ground finally.
Yes, breaking ground, officially breaking ground.
Yes.
Shout out Deacon Abiel.
Right.
All praise to the Most High.
Right. So. Damn, so y'all been with us for a while. So nobody's really like visited, like, well, Deacon Abiel that time that he was on vacation, right? I just want to be clear, he was on vacation though when he came and saw you, right?
Yeah, he didn't come on a mission.
Yeah, he didn't come on a mission. Okay, all praises.
First mission.
We got a bishop on deck. See what I'm saying? Hazeloo, we got a bishop on deck. Hazeloo, we got a bishop on deck. Hazeloo, see my bishop on deck. All the rise and feet, show respect. All these damn doors getting checked. See what I'm saying? Hey, shout him out. Tuesday, shout him out. Tuesday, put in work, reach the people, see my bishop, he don't play. Shout him out. Tuesday, shout him out. Tuesday, put in work, reach the people, see my bishop, he don't play. Shout him out. Tuesday, shout him out. Tuesday, put in work, reach the people, see my bishop, he don't play. Shout him out. Tuesday, shout him out. Tuesday, put in work, reach the people, see my bishop, he don't play. Hazeloo, we got the bishop on deck. On deck. Hazeloo, we got the bishop on deck. See what I'm saying? Hazeloo, we got the bishop on deck.
Shalom, brothers. Shalom, sisters. Bishop Nathaniel here. You know what day it is. That's right. It is Shout Out Tuesday. It's Shout Out Tuesday. And you know how I love to read your letters of exhortation and your donations of support. But before I do that, I often love to cover a little bit of our hidden history. Shout out to Deacon Nathan for that thing right there. So, brothers, sisters, you know how I also love to say, get your libations, get your comfort food, get your diet food, get whatever you need to relax yourself, and check out today's glimpse into our history. And I'll be right back regarding our commentary, all right? Is the next book, Pictorial History of Israel. Let's go inside. Take a look. Unto thy seed. What do y'all see? You see black Jews, black Israelites working in ancient Egypt. Let's see where this is from. This mural depicting Israel's bondage in Egypt was found in the Theban tomb of Rekhmir, governor and vizier at the time of Thutmose III, about 1450 BCE. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor, and they made their lives bitter with hard bondage, in mortar and in brick and in all manner of service in the field. Exodus chapter 1, verse 13 and 14. What color are these Israelites? What color are they? Well, I'm going to ask you again. Can somebody ask T.D. Jakes what color are the real original Hebrews? What color are the Hebrew Israelites there? This is ancient artifacts, ancient black. They are painted as black in the tombs. See, this history has been hidden, and T.D. Jakes, if he knows of it and decides not to teach it, he's the devil, a black, ashy devil the Bible speaks of. And all you in his congregation, y'all going to be damned to hell and back. Every last one of you that follow him. Keep up with these lies. All right, here's Harper's Bible Dictionary. This is page 331. In 701 BC, Assyrian king Sennacherib conquered most of Judah, including the fortress city of Lachish. The victory was recorded in remarkable detail on bas-reliefs at his Nineveh palace. This scene is poignant testimony to the plight of his victims, who were deported with only what they could carry on their backs. What does it say? Let's take a look at Judah. Do y'all see this? This is the Sennacherib guard. Look at the people of Judah. Look at their hair. Look at their hair. This is a stone relief. Look at the little boy. These are not Caucasians. These are not Edomites. These are black men with cornrows. Turn over. All right. 2A, I'm going to look at picture 1, picture 2A and 2B. Fresco paintings from the western wall of the 3rd century AD synagogues at Dura Europos, a city on the Euphrates River in Syria. Let's see. All right, let me see who we're going to look at. Bear with me a second. At the right, 2B depicts Moses 3 times. From far right to left, Moses strides toward the Red Sea with staff upraised, leading the ancient Israelites out of Egypt. Let's see what Moses and the ancient Israelites look like. Bam! There's Moses. There's Moses there. Remember, I said it depicts him 3 times. Moses here, and Moses here. Take a look. And the Egyptians are being drowned in the waters. The Egyptians are black. Moses is black. The hand of God is black. That's Aaron. There's the menorah. Moses and the 12 tribes of Israel. Moses again. Moses with the staff held over his head, and the Egyptians being drowned in the Red Sea. Do y'all see this? So again, if y'all keep following that line, TD Thomas Dexter Jakes, I can't help you. He jumping around cooning, talking about he know who he is. He don't know who he is, and neither does his congregation. The Israelites are black. Moses is black. The hand of God is black.
Africa being an accurate description of the regions of Egypt, Barbary, Libya, and Bildergerd, the land of Negroes, Guinea, Ethiopia, and the Abyssinians. Abyssinia, that's Ethiopia. All right. This was published in 1670. Africa being an accurate description of the regions of Egypt, Barbary, Libya, and Bildergerd, the land of Negroes, Guinea, Ethiopia, and the Abyssinians. That's Ethiopia. Published in 1670. Let's go in. All right. I'm on page 34.
That's the original page, but in this book it's on 31. All right. I'm going to start here. Many Jews also are scattered over this region, some natives boasting themselves of Abraham's seed. It's talking about Africa. See the title there, Africa. Many Jews also are scattered over this region. What region? Africa. Some natives boasting themselves of Abraham's seed, inhabiting both sides the river Niger, or Niger. Others are Asian strangers who fled thither either from the desolation of Jerusalem by Vespasian at 70 AD, or from Judea, wasted and depopulated by the Romans, Persians, Saracens, that's Muslims, and Christians, or else such as came out of Europe, whence they were banished. So it's referring to those Jews, those black Jews that were banished, those Jews that were keeping the commandments that were banished. Not all the blacks, but the ones keeping the commandments. Out of some, they were banished where? From where? Out of some parts of Italy in the year 1342, out of Spain in the year 1462, Out of the Low Countries, that's the Netherlands, in 1350. Out of France in 1403. Out of England in 1422. These all differ in habit and are divided into several tribes, having no dominion, though both wealthy and numerous, but despised of all nations, and so abominated by the Turks that they are not admitted to be Mohammedans unless first baptized, and then no otherwise made use of than to receive their customs and gather in their taxes. All right. Here's, you see Spain there. All right. I want you to look at the borders of Africa. There's Arabia. Let me just come in closer. All right. There's Somaliland. This is the Horn of Africa. Ethiopia, called Abyssinia at this time. I want you to notice where they got the Jews located at. There's the Falashas there. Look over here, Yemen Jews. That's in Arabia. But I want to focus on Africa. All right. Taliban Jews. A pre-exilic Yahwism. That's for those that followed Yahweh. All right. Let's move over. Let's move over. I'm going down to the bottom. Look. Loando Jews. This is on the coast of Africa. All right. Mavumbu Jews. Look. This is what I was just showing you in the other books. San Tome Jews. Remember the Jews were cast out of Spain and sent to San Tome or St. Thomas. That's that island right there. All right. Look, Levite cities. Where amongst the houses? You know, a lot of you Nigerians, you hate the houses. There's Cameroons. Levite cities over here. This is Nigeria. See? Nigeria. Nigeria. You got Levite cities there. Houses. Levite cities. Levite cities. Beni Ephraim. Sons of Ephraim. Beni means, or Benai means sons of Ephraim. Okay. Dahomey Jews. Jewish traces all amongst the Ashanti. Judeo-paganism. So these Israelites here were following pagan customs around Cape Verde and Senegambia. The Lamlam, once a Jewish colony. Timbuktu. Let's go around here. Medieval Jewish kingdom. Jewish kingdom of Granada. Let me go down. Let me find some of these words. Let me look. Let me go up along the coast. I'm going to follow the coastline. Beni Musa, sons of Moses. Now, it's hard for me to see. Y'all know I wear glasses, but if y'all at home, y'all could spot some of this stuff before I do. Berber Jews. Black Jews. And I want y'all to see this because this is what the so-called scholars put together. The Jews were cast out of Spain. Remember that history I've been showing y'all for a while. My eyesight ain't that good, but I'm just showing y'all this map. So if y'all see something, y'all can freeze screen it. Freeze the screen. Israel immigrates here. Look at that. To Arabia. That's Arabia right there. Jewish traces. What's that say? Wasambara? Yemen Jews and Falashas, Berber, Moorish, and Negro Jews. So the white man knows the blacks are the Israelites. They know that. They keep this stuff hidden from us.
The Critical Review or Annals of Literature by a Society of Gentlemen, Volume 57. All right, this was published in 1783. 1783. Let's go inside the book.
I told y'all these Christians started the transatlantic slave trade. Here's the evidence. Here's the proof. Right there where it says Pope Nicholas. Let me zoom in a little bit closer than that. All right, let's begin reading. Pope Nicholas V, in that famous bull, meaning papal bull, by which he granted the unknown world to the Portuguese and Spaniards, expressly permitted and ordered the Christians to reduce all infidels, the word infidel means unbelievers in white supremacy, into, what's that word right there? Slavery. Pope Nicholas V, in that famous bull by which he granted the unknown world to the Portuguese and Spaniards, expressly permitted and ordered the Christians to reduce all infidels into slavery, in order zealously executed by both these nations. So Portugal and Spain, they were the first to start the transatlantic slave trade under Pope Nicholas V. Why don't these black Christians tell you that? Let's go down. Professor Sprengel devised the history of the Negro trade carried on by Christians. Oh, carried on by who? Christians, into two principal periods. The first from 1443 to 1645, and the second from 1645 to the present times, meaning when the book was written. The first period is the time of its increase, during which not only its founders, the Portuguese, but the English, the Dutch, and the French, all white folks, dealt in Negro slaves, though chiefly for the use and consumption of the Spaniards, and the sugar and tobacco plantations in the Brazils. During the latter period, these four nations were obliged to share that trade with the Swedes, the Danes, the Brandenburgers, the North Americans, and since 1778 with the Spaniards. Y'all see that? Their trade, however, still increased, not only by the Swedes and the Brandenburgers, ceasing their navigations to the coast of Guinea, but from the annual demand of a supply of more than 100,000 Negroes, recruits for their own colonies. Y'all see that? Let's go down. The trade soon increased, so that in 1455, no less than 700 or 800 Negro slaves were annually, meaning yearly, exported to Lisbon, that's in Portugal. At length, the Portuguese in 1471 discovered the Gold Coast, that's Ghana. And ever since, the intercourse between Portugal and Guinea was continued. Watch this. Now it's going to tell you who these Negroes were. King John II in 1492 expelled all the Jews to the island of St. Thomas. St. Thomas is in Africa, which had been discovered in 1471, and to other Portuguese settlements on the continent of Africa. That's the proof. And from these banished Jews, wait a minute. And from these banished Jews, the black Portuguese, as they are called. So these Jews were called the black Portuguese. And the Jews in Loango, that's Africa,
who are despised even by the very Negroes, are descended. So it's saying that these Jews, the black Portuguese, are descended from the Negroes, which despise them. Okay? Why? Because these Jews were keeping God's commandments. These Jews were keeping God's commandments, and you had these other blacks that were not. Facts.
But leech off the heritage of another people. They practice replacement theology and put themselves as the people of the book. Yahweh has a people that he was sent to. It is the lost sheep of the house of Israel, his firstborn son. That's who Yeshua was sent to. I am not sorry to tell you that Abraham, the father of the faith, was not a Christian. He was a Hebrew. I am in no way apologetic to tell you that his son Isaac also was a Hebrew. And I am no way going to tiptoe around the fact that Jacob was a Hebrew whose name was changed to Israel as one that struggles with Yah and overcomes, who gave birth through polygynous marriage to the 12 tribes of the house of Israel. Now what are you going to do about that? And you have Judah, one of his sons, who Jesus Christ came through. And Yeshua, who never even heard of the practices of Christianity, never preached any doctrines or principles or customs that comprised and made a religion called Christianity that was supposed to bear up his name. And none of his disciples preached such a religion. Paul, the Apostle Saul, never talked about this faith. In fact, he was proud of the fact that he was a Hebrew of the tribe of Benjamin. Paul plainly upheld the law. He was keeping the feast days. You see it in Acts. You see James saying, go down and participate in this Nazarite vow to show them that you do not preach against the Torah.
All right, brothers. All right, sisters. You saw it for yourself. You saw it for yourself. Now, today, we're dealing with White Lives Matter and attack on black celebrities. That's right. Suki now. So there were two, our brother Ye. See, I said his name right this week. Ye. I got it right. Our brother Ye is still in the news. All right. So he was interviewed by a guy called, let me see if I get this guy's name right. Lex Fridman. Lex Fridman is a Russian American. I believe he's Amalek too. Lex Fridman and Piers Morgan. I'm going to show you those two interviews, and I'm going to also deal with something else. All right. So let's take a look, and I'll be right back regarding today's commentary.
Saying you're Jewish.
No, I'm Jew, not Jewish. Jewish means like that of a Jew. I'm saying I'm Jew.
You're a Jew.
Blood of Christ.
That
Orthodox
comes from,
Christian.
Right. But are you a follower of the philosophy of the black Hebrew Israelites? Because that's where the idea comes from. Not all of those folks are extremists, but some are extremists.
I'm a follower of the idea. I have a vague idea that all people came from Africa. But what I wanted to do, now I could Andy Kaufman this about 7 more minutes and then tell you what it is, what the whole point is.
Let's count 7 minutes.
No,
do less.
I did this to do a spoiler alert.
Sure, spoiler.
What's the first thing I said at the beginning?
We're talking about engineering and humans. We're all
human.
I said,
and then what did I say we shouldn't focus on?
Race.
Not just that. I said they shouldn't teach this in school.
History.
The history, because what they do, what schools are doing is exactly what the CIA does with Pixar films and Disney films. They make Bambi's mom die in the beginning, right? And off that pain comes a purchase of ice cream. Off that pain comes, I need some more toys. Off that pain comes, I need a bigger house. Off that pain comes, I need more girls than my wife. Off that pain comes, so they put that pain in to make us, now we're the orphans of capitalism, to make us be consumers. And we need to be a community, not just consumers. So I could have went another 7 minutes by being a person who presents himself in a way that says, well, I don't have to feel your pain because I also have pain too that's not being recognized. And in every interview, when I say, well, why did I get to the point of putting up the tweet? No one wants to understand why I got to that point,
You
right?
had pain. You had pain.
Yeah, but
You
no
had
one,
pain in your heart.
but let's say this, undoubtedly, Jewish people have a lot of movies about that pain, and black people have a lot of movies about the pain of slavery, right? It's almost impossible to find a movie about Mansa Musa. When you go to the African History Museum in Washington, D.C., it doesn't start with the idea of Africans being kings. It starts with the idea of Africans being slaves. But here's another interesting point about this. This was said to me one time and it stuck with me as a family member of mine. With Africans, how many times you've heard like a rapper or, talk about we were kings? That's incorrect if we're Jew. If we're Jew, and since we are, we weren't the kings. We were the slaves that Moses freed.
A life close to you that you trust enough to call you out on your bullshit. We're all full of shit sometimes.
What's my bullshit?
Well, some of it I pointed out today, but I don't know you deeply enough.
Though? What was the bullshit?
Jewish media,
That's not bullshit. The bullshit is that the Jewish media won't admit.
Your dad was right. Your dad was right. The words you used, you weren't.
And I said it. You're not gonna make me say it 800 more times.
I don't know if it resonated because you keep saying like the words.
Did it resonate to y'all that y'all ain't do nothing about it, and that all y'all want to do is have somebody apologize or sweep under the rug your bullshit that you've been doing the whole time? You on the same bullshit as the other people. So you're doing the same thing that the other, let's say media, because I'm not allowed to say, has done. So until somebody
Which is what, man? I'm trying to call you out on your bullshit because I hope I'm somebody you can trust.
I don't fucking trust you.
Well, you should find people in your life you can trust.
Don't tell me what I should do. I'm not one of your BLM marchers.
Listen,
this was sent over to me and it reads, every single aspect of the media is Jewish. Sony, Paramount, Fox, Comcast, Warner Brothers and Discovery Channel, the Walt Disney Company. 6 Jewish corporations own 96% of the media. Let's look at some of these names in the media. Columbia Pictures, Paramount, what is that, Santo Box, Dreammakers Pictures, CNN, Marvel, Stan Lee was the founder, wow. Sony Pictures Classics, Showtime, TMZ, Lou Wasserman founder, HBO, ESPN, Paramount, Marvista, NBC Universal, Time, Paul Mazursky, director, TriStar Pictures, CBS Studios, Fox, Larry Namer, Castle Rock, Pixar, Lucasfilm, Robert Shave, Time Magazine, wow. I'm skipping over something where I can't see the thing. CBS Studios, Nickelodeon, Fox, the CW, Vice Magazine, wow.
Fortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias.
And agenda to control exactly what people think. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
The genealogy of Shem. Shem is where the word Sem comes from. So when they say Semitic, they're referring to descendants of Shem, disproving anti-Semitism. The genealogy of Shem. Now you can read about the genealogy of Shem in 1 Chronicles chapter 1. Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Shem
became the father of Elam, which are the East Indians, Ashur, which are the Turks, Arphaxad, Lud, and Aram, which are the Syrians. So guess what? The East Indians are Shemitic, or I'll say Semitic from now on. Semitic, Ashur is Semitic, and Aram's, the Syrians are Semitic. Shem's chosen line went through Arphaxad, Shelah, Eber. Eber is where the word Hebrew comes from. Okay, Eber had two sons, Joktan and Peleg. Joktan, which came from Eber, which is Hebrew, he had the sons you see there. What is it? Amadad, Shalif, forgive me, Haramaveth, Jerah, Hadaram, Uzel, Dikla, Obal, Abimael, Sheba, Ophir, Havilah, and Jabad. Now, Eber had his son Peleg. Remember, Eber had Joktan and Peleg. Peleg was the chosen one that God was looking for. He had Reu, Sirog, Nahor, Terah. Terah had three sons, Nahor, Abraham, and Haran. Haran, now these are all Semites, all right? They come from Shem. Haran gave birth to Lot on the left side. Lot had two boys, Moab and Ben-Ami, which is Ammon. Moab became the father of the Chinese, and Ben-Ami, which is Ammon, became the father of the Japanese. So guess what? The Chinese and the Japanese, guess what? They are Semitic, all right? So Terah had Nahor and Abram. Abram had Isaac and Ishmael. Abraham, Isaac, and Ishmael, and then he has sons from Keturah. Keturah gave birth to Ishbak, Zosh, Jokahan, Midian, Medan, and Zimran. Though they are all Shemitic, all right? Abraham had Ishmael first. He gave birth to the Ishmaelites, which are the Arabs. Abraham gave birth to Isaac. Isaac had two sons, Esau and Jacob. All right? Esau is the father of all Caucasians. They are Semitic. Isaac gave birth to Jacob. Jacob became the father of the 12 tribes of Israel, which are today's blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. So guess what? We are Shemitic. And we're not going to apologize for being Shemitic. That's who and what we are.
People here are called anti-Semitic. What is your response to that as an Israeli Jew?
Well, it's a trick. We always use it. When from Europe somebody is criticizing Israel, then we bring up the Holocaust. When in this country people are criticizing Israel, then they are anti-Semitic. And the organization is strong and has a lot of money, and the ties between Israel and the American Jewish establishment are very strong, and they are strong in this country. As you know, they have power, which it's okay. They are talented people, and they have power, money, and media, and other things. And their attitude is Israel, my country, right or wrong, the identification. And they are not ready to hear criticism. And it's very easy to blame people who criticize certain acts of the Israeli government as anti-Semitics, and to bring up the Holocaust and the suffering of the Jewish people, and that justify everything we do to the Palestinians.
Now, you had entertainers like Nick Cannon that said the real Jews are black. You had Ice Cube who said the real Jews are black. You had pro football player Deshaun Jackson who said the real Jews are black. Now, I know y'all always tend to forget, but this article was put up by Sports Philadelphia about the Eagles. And it reads, Deshaun Jackson highlighted a quote attributed to Hitler and shared anti-Semitic quotes from Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan in a series of Instagram posts Monday evening. Jackson, who has 1.4 million followers on Instagram, initially posted a screenshot of a quote widely attributed to Hitler saying, among other things, because the white Jews know that the Negroes are the real children of Israel, and to keep America secret, the Jews will blackmail America. They will extort America. Their plan for world domination won't work if the Negroes know who they were. The white citizens of America will be terrified to know that all this time they've been mistreating and discriminating and lynching the children of Israel. Wow. And let's not forget Kendrick Lamar. He did a song, if not two, saying the real Jews are black. You also have British rapper Wiley. Many of you here in the U.S. may not know about British rapper Wiley. He said the real Jews are black, so I'm going to show you a little bit on him.
Controversy has erupted in the United States over anti-Semitic comments by some African-American celebrities, including the pro football player Deshaun Jackson, rapper Ice Cube, and TV host Nick Cannon. Now, a similar sort of case has erupted in the United Kingdom over a social media post there made by Richard Cowie Jr., who's better known as the rapper Wiley. Now, among these posts, quote, if you work for a company owned by two Jewish men and you challenge the Jewish community in any way, of course you will get fired. In fact, there are two sets of people who nobody has really wanted to challenge, hashtag Jewish and hashtag KKK. But being in business for 20 years, you start to understand. Listen to me, Jewish community. Israel is not your country. I'm sorry. Can't quite figure out that last one. Well, joining us now, maybe to help us figure it out, is our UK correspondent, Jonathan Sacerdoti from London. And Jonathan, give us some background about who this rap artist Wiley is and why he might be making these kind of comments.
Well, today, British Home Secretary Priti Patel commented on the torrent of abuse that was published on Twitter and Instagram by Richard Cowie, a British rapper and songwriter known by a stage name Wiley. And she wrote that the anti-Semitic posts from Wiley are abhorrent. They should not have been able to remain on Twitter and Instagram for so long. And she wrote, I've asked them for a full explanation. Social media companies must act fast to remove such appalling hatred from their platforms. Among the things that he wrote, as you said there, were suggestions that black people and Jews should be at war. He said, black people, this is a war, sadly, sorry. He declared that his statements against Jewish people are not anti-Semitic, but he's just anti what he called slippery people. And he likened Jewish people to the Ku Klux Klan, saying rednecks are the KKK and Jewish people are the law. Work that out. A lot of it was a bit unhinged and quite hard to figure out, but it alluded to also theories of Israel not belonging to the Jewish people, but instead to a lost tribe of black people from Africa. Theories of Israel not belonging to the Jewish people, but instead to a lost tribe of black people from Africa. Theories of Israel not belonging to the Jewish people, but instead to a lost tribe of black people from Africa. And again, plenty of other typical anti-Semitic tropes, including comments about diamonds and gold and money.
You can say you're a Christian, you can say you're a Muslim, you can say you're an African spiritualist, a Buddhist, Hindu, whatever. They will let you say it. But the moment you say and acknowledge the real Jews are the blacks, now comes hell on your heels. See, that's how y'all gotta realize where the truth is. The Bible proves that black people, Latin people, Native American Indians are the real Israelites. Now, the latest controversy is Ye, formerly known as Kanye West. And notice the media never challenges them on them saying the real Jews are black. They ignore that as if they didn't hear it, and they go around the bush to find other things. They said, oh, you said Jewish people run the corporations of the world and they're evil. You said that. So they focus on that. But what about them all saying the real Jews are black? Well, we don't want to talk about that right now. Let's ignore it, make like it wasn't said, and throw out the words anti-Semitism. See, that's what they do. That's the game. That's the demonic, satanic game.
You don't hold accountability to my pain. You're being a Karen.
I'm talking
you
about. I'm not a Karen.
To the pain.
I'm not a Karen, and I'm not going to cancel you, and I'm not going to uncensor you. I'm simply going to challenge you on what you're saying. I think you don't understand the pain that you've been causing with some of these comments, and I think that one in particular, I can understand.
Oh my God! God forbid, one comment could cause people to feel any of the pain that my people have went through for years. Even like the blacks being ushered to the left during the civil rights movement. No one has cared about black people.
All right.
No one is.
Let me say, I agree that the racism against black people has been utterly deplorable, shameful, unacceptable, and thank God the world is beginning to move to a better place about the way it has treated black people like you. However, one form of racism doesn't justify...
it's almost in a better place.
Well, one form of racism doesn't justify another.
It's not a better place.
I'm not cutting you off. I'm finishing my sentence so you can respond. One form of racism, it is racism when you say I'm going death for Jewish people.
I was in a position where I've been hurt, and this is the way I had the right to express myself. The point of this interview is for you to question me, and then for me to answer and say, okay, even though the same rules are not applied to my people, if a person with a gun or drugs is pulled over and has three other people in the car, they're all going to jail. I'm not going to apply that to Jewish people for the sake of this conversation. Isn't that what you wanted? But you know what you did? You tried to civil rights me. You tried to pull me back to a week ago. But we're here today. There's been plenty of conversations and commentary since that. But you want me to go back to 1960.
No.
You want me to go back to 7 days ago.
All right, let me jump in. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to reflect.
Okay, so have we grown? Have we grown?
Here's how we grow. Yeah, here's how we grow. I want you to reflect.
No, have we grown?
Have
we grown? You're not in charge of my growth. You're not in charge of my growth, Chris.
Okay, let me phrase it like this. I'm about to suggest to you how you may grow if you choose to grow this way. And you can ignore me. You can ignore me.
Pierce, how much money are you worth?
Not as much as you, sadly.
Exactly. So take my advice. Maybe you'll get richer.
I would love to take your business advice.
Why would I listen to you?
Why don't you hear what my advice is and then work out if I'm wrong? Can we do that deal?
Well, the thing is, you haven't given me any credit or a moment of reflection for the comparison that I made, the brilliant, if I do say so myself, comparison that I made to the cops pulling over one black person and locking everyone up.
I understand what you're saying.
And my tweet having issues. Wait a second, I wasn't done with the sentence. My tweet referring to all Jewish people, I said, for the sake of this conversation, I will refer to the business people who have destroyed me and my people and my fellow creatives. But you didn't even accept that I gave you that. You tried to push me back into 1960.
No, I didn't.
You tried to push me back into last week.
No, I didn't.
Okay, do you accept that example that I gave you?
I understand completely the example you gave me. I think all racism is wrong.
So I feel that we've grown.
I would like you to reflect.
I feel that we've grown.
Do
you feel we've grown?
If you've now changed what you wanted to say originally, my question for you is, do you now regret saying death gone free on Jewish people? Are you sorry you said that?
Why do you think that that would be considered controversial?
Because the same people that have stripped us of our identity and labeled us as a color have told us what it means to be black and the vernacular that we're supposed to have. My dad grew up as a military brat, and his family moved around, but they were based mostly in Delaware. And at the time, if they weren't the only black family, they were one of the few. And he would be discriminated against because he was black.
Kanye West joins us now. As you know, he's been all over the headlines, and not just because his music is dominant as a genre in and of itself. There's no question about the man's artistry and mastery. I got 2 generations of people in my family that love his music. But it's not about his music right now. Most recently, it was announced that he is making a bid or a deal at some stage to acquire the conservative social media platform Parler, which is right now offline. Why? Is this because he was kicked off Twitter and Instagram? Is that what it's about? Let's discuss the relevance and the resonance with the man himself, Kanye West. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yes, but I want you guys to hear me and see me. Can you hear me and see me?
I can. I see you. You're in the back of a car. You got a hoodie and a hat on.
Okay, cool. I see the double. All right. You guys are supposed to be made aware to use my legal name, Ye. I've changed my name like how Cassius Clay changed his name to Muhammad Ali. I'm sure you guys didn't mean it as any disrespect, but Denise on the Chiron changed my name to Ye. You can say formerly known as Kanye West if you'd like to, but my name is Ye.
Why'd you change it?
Sir, I need to have the name changed.
We'll change it.
Yeah, but
we'll change it. I'm asking you, why'd you change it? Just so people can understand.
Well, actually, I don't owe people an explanation to start off with. I have the right to change my name. I have the right in America to vote on whoever I want to vote on. We have certain rights where, as celebrities and even as the black voting bloc, as they call it, the black vote, are forced to, always talk about their finances, always talk about their names. But it was really, the name West is a slave name. And I wanted to free myself of all of the older mentality. That is the reason I'm telling you that.
Understood and appreciated.
How in Black America, we just don't have the health care that we need to even be able to successfully deliver our babies. Planned Parenthood was made by Margaret Sanger with the KKK to murder Black people. And it is really eugenics, and we are in our Holocaust, as Blacks, as Jews, as the last tribe of Judah, the 12th tribe, the blood of Christ, because we are Jew also. And if you ask a Jewish person about their race, they don't say it's a race, they say it's a people. And if we considered ourselves to be more than just a color and more than just a race, but to be a people, we would treat our people and people differently altogether.
And Jay, with our culture, with the darker Jews. First of all, because you got
it just happens when anybody starts talking deep.
Okay. Yeah. With the darker Jews, the 12 lost tribes of Israel, who we are, because we Jewish also. We from Africa also. We're the blood of Christ. So we're not just Black. We are Jew, just like the Jewish people.
And now for the donkey of the day, Charlemagne, who stands for nothing but white supremacy, LGBT, and his Jewish slave masters.
It's not free thinking, though. That's the other thing we got to stop saying. It's not free thinking when all you're doing is repeating white supremacist talking points. You're repeating Black Israelite talking points, eating Black Israelite talking points, eating Black Israelite talking points. Like, Kanye West is not a free thinker. We got to stop saying that. There's nothing free about his thoughts at all.
What's crazy about it is I don't even think he believes that. You know what I'm saying?
That's my point. He's saying everything he's heard other people already say. That's not free thinking.
Now, do y'all think this dude, Charlemagne, is a free thinker? He ain't no free thinker. Okay, let me give an example of him not being a free thinker. The term he used, Black Israelite. Charlemagne, I challenge you. You find a congregation of Israelites called Black Israelites. You won't find it. Where did you get that terminology from? Your white masters. That's where you got it from. Your Jewish white masters. They did the same thing during the time of Nation of Islam under Malcolm X. Instead of calling them Muslims, they call them Black Muslims. So Charlemagne, you're not a free thinker, my man. You're not a free thinker with your little hate hat with the American flag and a gay symbol on the 8th, the gay flag. Okay, where'd that come from? That came from the book of Genesis, the colors I'm talking about, okay, which was a covenant God made with man not to flood the earth. But your white masters changed it and said, no, it represents homosexuality, acceptance and pride of homosexuality. Are you a free thinker? I dare say nay.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use
their platforms to push their own personal bias, and agenda to control exactly what people think. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Here we go. A lot of people, including myself, did not know that Ye had opened a school academy. Okay, I'm going to read the article, and I want everybody to pay very close attention. Now, notice they keep calling him outside of his name. He told them his name was changed, but all these newspapers keep running his government name, his how would you say, his slave name that he was given. Kanye West, Donda Academy, abruptly calls off 2022 to 2023 school year. This was a shock to me. I never knew he set up an academy. Now, some of you may have, but me, myself, and I didn't know. It reads, the school's boys basketball team has also been disinvited from multiple prestigious tournaments. Let's pause there. So, based upon what Kanye said, the children must suffer for it. Let me say it again. So, based upon what Kanye said, so-called Jewish people have determined that the students must suffer for it. None of you black entertainers see anything wrong with this? I'm going to say it again. So based on what Kanye West said that Jewish people didn't like, the children must suffer for it as a consequence. Are you black entertainers that stupid and fearful that y'all don't see? You refuse to see anything wrong with this? Let me read it again. The school's boys basketball team has also been disinvited from multiple prestigious tournaments. Whoa, let's go down. Kanye West Private School is closing for the remainder of the 2022 to 23 school year, the Times reports. So now, the school has closed down and the children must suffer. Again, I'm going to say it again. None of you black entertainers see nothing wrong with the children having to suffer at the hands of Jewish people because they didn't like something Kanye or Ye said. You black entertainers are a joke. You are a shame to your ancestors. Let's read it again. Kanye West's private school is closing for the remainder of the 2022 to 23 school year, the Times reports. The school's principal, Jason Angel, reportedly emailed students' parents. Our leadership team will be working diligently to assist all families during this transition, ensuring that every scholar has what they need to succeed in their next community in a prompt and gracious manner. Now, he said a whole lot of bullshit there. So again, the children must suffer because so-called Jewish people are angry at something Ye said. Let's read on. Donda Academy opened last year and is the subject of great mystery, with families reportedly required to sign non-disclosure agreements to send their children to the school. According to The Hollywood Reporter, West recently lost an educational consultant for the school who resigned after the rapper tweeted that he wanted to go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. So the teacher resigned. And I'm sure it's not just one teacher. These people all stick together. That's something you black entertainers, you court jesters have not figured out yet. Like I said, you're ashamed. You need to be ashamed of yourselves, every last one of you. The school year's cancellation comes after the Academy's high-profile boys basketball team, the Donda Doves, was disinvited from 2 prestigious tournaments. So again, the children must suffer because Jewish people are angry at something Kanye West said, Ye said, that they didn't like. The Spalding Hoop Hall Classic and Play-by-Play Classics. In a statement, organizers of the latter tournament said, Kanye's words and actions violate our values as a company and a country, according to the Los Angeles Times. What does that have to do with the children? Again, y'all don't see nothing wrong with this? You don't find that suspicious? West continues to face backlash. No, it's not West facing the backlash. The children are facing the backlash now. These so-called Jewish people will do anything, come hell or high water, to destroy the truth, even if it means hurting defenseless children. West continues to face backlash for a string of anti-Semitic remarks he made in recent weeks. His booking agency has cut ties with him, as have Adidas and Balenciaga. In addition, star athletes Aaron Donald and Jaylen Brown have ended their partnerships with West brand management agency Donda Sports. Don't nobody give a dag on. Who gives a dag on? The hell is this? Now let me show you how the hypocrisy. Does any of you remember a guy called Jerry Sandusky? Let's take a look at this brief article from Wikipedia. Gerald Arthur Sandusky is an American retired college football coach and a convicted serial child molester. Sandusky served as an assistant coach for his entire career, mostly at Pennsylvania State University, under Joe Paterno from 1969 to 1999, the last 22 years as defensive coordinator. Born January 26, 1944. Now, this dude was a convicted serial child molester. Here's the question. Did they close the school down? Did they have the teams not be allowed to go to any major events or tournaments? No. And who was he raping? Mainly black children. None of you athletes see this. None of you entertainers see this. What the hell is wrong with you black people? God gonna bring a hell of a judgment on you. Let me say it again to you black entertainers out there who's scared with your tails tucked between your legs. God is gonna bring judgment on all of you because you stand for nothing of righteousness. All you care about is your paper. That's all you care about. And a lot of you already have enough paper. You don't need these so-called white people to do nothing for you already. But you stand for nothing. What the Christ said, what shall it profit a man if he gain the whole world and lose his soul? A lot of you have lost your souls already, and you're going to pay. You know what's so crazy and hypocritical about the Sandusky case with Penn State? One of the boys testified on the stand. He was walking through the boys' locker room. He could hear the shower on. He said as he passed by, he looked in the shower. He said he heard, because he heard a noise. He heard a noise like that. It was like a clapping noise. And you could hear, and what did he say? He said he looked and he could see one of the boys had his hands against the shower walls, and Sandusky was banging the hell out of him. The school did not close down. The kids did not get reprimanded or made not to be able to attend any tournaments or events. This is total hypocrisy. But like I said, because so-called Jewish people are mad at Kanye, they don't give a damn about the kids, especially black children. All right. Did y'all hear that dude, Lex Fridman, ask Ye? He says, are you a follower of the black Hebrew Israelites? Because that's where the idea comes from. No. The idea comes from the biblical text, the Torah, the Tanakh. That's where the notion comes from, the word of God, the Holy Scriptures, my man. So, but it's funny. What's funny about it, everybody talks about the Israelites. And again, that term, black Hebrew Israelites, none of us call ourselves that. No Israelite congregation calls themselves that. That's something white society dubbed on us. So in other words, what they're trying to say is, you're not the real ones. You're the black ones. But the black ones are the real ones, all right? The devil said that the idea that we're Israelites comes from us, and it comes from the Bible. And in order to disprove that we're the Israelites, listen good to what I'm about to say. In order to disprove that we are the Israelites, according to Deuteronomy 28, verse 15 through 68, you would have to prove that slavery never happened to us. And you know that's an impossibility. Okay, let me give you some examples. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and verse 15. Now remember, the prophet Moses is addressing the 12 tribes of Israel on the continent of Africa. They're not in Europe. They're not in Spain. They're not in France. They're not in Germany. Hell, they're not even in America. They're on the continent of Africa. This is where the beginning of the history starts with the Israelites. Now, Dan disproved that. Deuteronomy 28, and let's read verse 15, shall we? It reads, "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments," I repeat, all his commandments, "and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee." So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to jump through a few key curses, and you have to make a decision. As you hear these curses, you should read along with us. Did these curses happen to black people or to those white people in Israel? Let's read. Let's start with verse 32. "Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people," meaning another race of people, "and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand." When it says there shall be no might in thy hand, that means that the real Israelites would not have military might to get their sons and daughters back. They would not have political might to influence anyone to get their sons and daughters back. Neither would they have economic might to get their sons and daughters back. So, for example, when they took your sons and daughters, let's say you were in the city of New York. Okay, you're in New York, docked there at Wall Street, and they sent your sons and daughters, some of them to Virginia, or they sent some of them to Brazil. Or, well, I know the breaking point was in the West Indian Island. They dispersed you from there. So if they sent some of us to Haiti, they sent some of us to New Orleans, they sent some of us to Virginia, Florida, did we have military might to get them back, our sons and daughters? Did we have economic might to buy our sons and daughters back? Did we have political might to influence to get our sons and daughters back? Nope. Even to this day. This is why when I mention to many of the audience, I mention like our people that were sent to Iran and Iraq, and they're called Afro-Iraqis or Afro-Iranians. You go, who? You've forgotten who your people are. You don't even consider them. When I mention the slaves that was taken to India, called the Siddis, Siddis, you go, who? And forget about asking black Christians. They really don't give a daggone about their people. Let's just read some more. Let's jump down now to verse 37. "And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations whither the Lord shall lead thee." So it starts off saying that we would become an astonishment. Why would we become an astonishment? Because when we left out of Egypt, we ruled the earth. Especially, listen good to what I'm about to say, under King David and Solomon, King Solomon. All nations paid us tribute. That's how powerful we were. So now that we've been reduced to slavery, it's an astonishment. It's like, what the hell is this? Notice the next part says a proverb and a byword. What does that mean? Being called outside of your God-given name. Like, for example, the word nigger, spick, Indian, black are proverbs and bywords. Names like African-American, West Indian, Haitian, Brazilian, Puerto Rican, Mexican, these are proverbs and bywords. Our God-given names were changed so that you could never identify yourself with the 12 tribes of Israel. Oh, it was very calculated. Very, very calculated. Let's get some more. Verse 41. "Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. You know what captivity means? It means slavery. That's what it means. Let's get some more. Verse, let me get some key points. Let me jump down. Verse 48, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, meaning your enemies will control the food industry, and in thirst, meaning your enemies will control the water industry, and in nakedness, meaning your enemies will control the clothing industry. So if you want any of those things, you must go to your enemies. Then it reads on to say, and in want of all things, meaning if you want such things as education, if you want medicine, you got to go to your enemies. If you want land, homes, houses, you got to go to your enemies for these things. Then it goes on to say, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Did we have yokes of iron upon our necks, our ancestors? Take a look at the images. Yes, we did. Oh, yes, oh, yes, oh, yes, oh, yes. But did this happen to the white man? No, it did not. Then it goes on to say finally, until he have destroyed thee. Until he have destroyed thee. When did the yokes of iron come off our ancestors' necks? When they were mentally and spiritually destroyed. Jesus is white. Oh, that's a good nigga. Take them yokes of iron off his and her neck. We must celebrate the birth of Jesus on December 25th. Oh, that's my nigga. Take the yokes of iron off his and her necks. Just for example. That's what it means when it says until. No, I read, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Let's get that last verse 68. And it reads, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again. The word Egypt is synonymous for slavery. The word Egypt is synonymous for slavery, house of bondage. You can read that in Exodus 20, verse 2. Let me read it for you, as a matter of fact. Exodus chapter 20, verse 2 reads, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Egypt is synonymous for the house of bondage, which means slavery. So let's go back to Deuteronomy 28, verse 68, one more again. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, meaning the Lord would bring us into slavery with ships. Now let's examine history right now. What race of people was sent to these various lands and countries on slave ships? Our people, our 12 tribes. It reads on to say, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. We wouldn't see the actual bondage of actual real Egypt because God destroyed Pharaoh and his armies there. Okay? Then it reads on and says, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. We were sold in Canada for bondmen and bondwomen. We were sold in America for bondmen and bondwomen. We were sold in Europe for bondmen and bondwomen. We were sold to the whites in Central and South America for bondmen and bondwomen. We were sold throughout North, Central, South America. We were sold throughout Iran, Iraq, India, Saudi Arabia, okay, for bondmen and bondwomen. Hell, we were even sold in China and Japan. That's a little known, but yes, it's true. Let's read that bottom part again. And there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen, that means slave men, and bondwomen, slave women, and no man shall buy you. What does that part mean? It means no man shall redeem you from this bondage of slavery or the curses that God put us in. Let's word it like that. No man shall redeem you from the curses God put us under. Why? Because it was a punishment God ordained because we broke all his commandments. And many of us continue to do so to this day. I should say many of you. So we had great black leaders that tried to redeem us. Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth. In Brazil, you had Carlos Margella. In Africa, you had Thomas Sankara. You had Kwame Nkrumah. You had Patrice Lumumba of the Congo, so forth and so on. We had many great black leaders, black and Latino leaders that rose up who tried to redeem us, and they were not able to. So in order to prove that these curses don't fit us, the blacks, as you call us, that means you have to prove slavery never existed. That means you have to prove slavery was just a figment of our imagination. You can't do it, can you? No, nobody can. There's too many articles, too many artifacts, too much history already printed for us to not to realize that this is us. We fit the curses. We're the people of the book. We're the people of Moses. We're the people of King David, King Solomon. We're the people of the prophet Jeremiah. We're the people of the prophet Malachi. We are the people of the book. We are the people of Haggai, Zephaniah. We're the people of the apostles, Peter, James, and John. We're the people of the book. We are the people of the book. Now, Lex Fridman also said that some of the Israelites are extremists. See, you got to put it to him. What do you mean extremists? Are we harming anyone? Huh? And if you say yes, you'd have to prove it. Where any Israelite organization is going out hunting people, harming people, you'd have to prove that to say that we are extremists, and you can't do it. So they like to put these trigger words out there. But when Kanye or my brother Ye calls them something like evil, or if he says something, I can't quote him, if he says something they feel is disparaging to them, they go, oh, you're an anti-Semite, you hate us. Oh, come on, shut the hell up. Just shut the hell up. All right? Now, let's go to Isaiah 5:20. I want to go there because after that, Ye was interviewed by that annoying British guy. What's his name again? Piers Morgan. The Bible prophesies today's cancel culture. Watch this, Isaiah chapter 5, verse 20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil. Don't y'all see that today? We'll read out the Bible and they say, that's evil. And anytime they invite us on a program, they say you're not allowed to read from the Bible. Why not? Because you might offend our, what is it called? Not constituents. The people that support their broadcast. I forgot the word, but y'all know what I'm talking about. But let's read Isaiah 5:20 again. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. We go into the schools to teach our people that they're the Israelites. They cancel us. Oh, nope, you're not allowed to be in here. Nope, you have to leave. But they allow drag queens, listen good to what I'm about to say. They allow drag queens to go into the libraries in the school system and teach your children.
I think there's just something about us being larger than life, and that's really what they react to. You get a lot of oohs, ahs, wows, and what's that?
Y'all don't see nothing wrong with that? Nobody sees nothing wrong with that? Let's get some more. Let's go to the book of Amos. Amos, bear with me. Amos chapter 5 and verse 10. They hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly. Anytime we rebuke with the word of God and we speak uprightly according to the word of God, society hates us, they abhor us. That's what Amos 5:10 prophesies would happen. And we see it now in these last days, these last tumultuous days, and it's only going to get worse. Ye told Piers Morgan, no one cares about black people the way they care about so-called Jewish people. I always say so-called because they're not the Jews. So I call them so-called. Although in their vocabulary, when they say Jewish, they themselves are telling you that they are converts and not the original. Okay. That's what ish means. ISH, the suffix, means somewhat, something like, not the original, but somewhere around that. That's what it means. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 42 and verse 22. Now, this goes to when Ye told Piers Morgan that no one cares about black people. Now, again, I want you to listen good. I want you to compare black people today with so-called Jewish people today. And let's see who this fits. Isaiah 42, verse 22. It reads, but this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth, for a spoil, and none saith, restore. Ooh, that's some heavy stuff right there. That's some heavy stuff right there. Let's take a look and explain it. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. What race of people have been robbed of their heritage, their culture, their land, their birthright? Huh? But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. Now, the holes are symbolic. What holes are we find ourselves in? Holes like religious holes. There's one hole called Seventh-day Adventist, another hole called Jehovah's Witness, another hole called Baptist, Mormon, Episcopalian. These are holes that are filled with lies. Then you got political holes, republicanism and democracy. Okay, these are holes. Then it says, and prison house. America's one big prison house. Okay, and inside this prison house are smaller prison houses where black men are incarcerated at a rate like no other race on earth. It reads on, they are for a prey. So the Israelites would be a prey to all the nations, and none delivereth. No nation or person is able to deliver the 12 tribes of Israel from captivity. Then it says, for a spoil, and none saith, restore. Who's going to the UN saying restore to them the 12 tribes of Israel? The understanding of who they truly are. Who's doing that? Restore to them their true biblical identity. Restore to them their culture, their heritage, their wealth, their gold that was stolen from them. Oh no, even when it comes down to reparations, Jewish people who suffered allegedly for 5 years from during World War II, they get reparations from as soon as the war ended up until today. Germany pays them reparations. France, America pays them reparations constantly. The Japanese that was in prison camps for several months here in America during World War II, they were given reparations, not just them, but their grandchildren even. Nobody says, but what about the blacks that suffered for over 400 years of slavery? From slavery, we suffered Jim Crow, black codes, Jim Crow, segregation, even civil rights. Redlining. Nobody says give them reparations. They say give them jobs. You can give them jobs. That's what they say. Okay. Now, I've told you many times before that these white people that call themselves Jewish, they are converts. They are not the original Jews of the Bible. They're not the Israelites. They are not part of the 12 tribes of Israel. Let's start off with the book of Esther, chapter 8 and verse 17. Now, this was during the Persian Mede captivity when Esther, whose real name was Hadassah, sat on the throne. This is how it reads. Esther chapter 8, verse 17. I'll start at 16. The Jews had light and gladness and joy and honor. And in every province and in every city, whithersoever the king's commandment and his decree came, the Jews had joy and gladness, a feast and a good day. Watch this. And many of the people of the land became Jews. Why? For the fear of the Jews fell upon them. So you had many people of the land becoming Jews. They converted. Why? Because we got the upper hand. The king's decree was that we were to destroy and slaughter and kill anybody that rose up to do us harm. So because of that law, many people of the land who at one time are enemies, they converted to following us and became Jewish. What happened after this time, after the Persian Mede captivity? Right after that came the Greek captivity. Then those same converts turned on us. You can read about that in the book of Maccabees. Now, what happened to our land? Did these converts attempt to take our land, or did they take our land? Let's see what the prophecy says. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel, shall we? Ezekiel 36 and verse 5, and it reads, Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen. The word heathen means nations. And against all Idumea. Now he's specifying one particular heathen nation called Idumea. When you look it up, Idumea, you can just Google it, Idumea. It means, it's a Greco-Roman word for Edomites, the red people. What does it mean, Edom being the red people? Well, whose blood shows through their skin because they lack brown pigmentation? The ones we call Caucasians, white folks. They are the Edomites. So let's read it again. Pay attention to what they did. Ezekiel 36, verse 5. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, which have appointed my land, into their possession, So who would take the land? Idumea, the Edomites. Who's in the land of Israel today? Idumea, the Edomites. With despiteful minds to cast it out for a prey. What does it mean with despiteful minds? Because although they know they are not God's chosen people, they did despite that fact and took our land, impersonating the real Jews. Then it says to cast it out for a prey. What does that mean? They called their other brothers and sisters from Poland, Warsaw, Germany, Russia, Uzbekistan, places like that, and said, come to Israel, come be with friends, come. This all occurred around 1948, when Israel was established as a state in 1948. Okay? From there, let's go to Revelation 2:9. I know you get mad at this, Amalek, you Idumeans. Revelation chapter 2 and verse 9 reads, this is Christ speaking, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty. So Christ is addressing the Israelites that were in Smyrna. He says, I know your works, all the hard labors you do, the tribulation that you catch, and the poverty that you're in, but thou art rich. Why? Because all the promises in the Bible given to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob pertain to us, the Israelites. Then he goes on to say, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. So when we call white people the devil, the synagogue of Satan, it's not based on any racist rhetoric. It's based on the biblical text. You would have to burn every Bible in the world to get people to forget that. Now we're going to go over to 1 Esdras chapter 5 and verse 72 and 73. I just want to correlate what happened in the past to what's happening to us today. Okay? I'm going to start at verse 72. It reads, "But the heathen of the land, lying heavy upon the inhabitants of Judea, and holding them straight, hindered their building." So the heathen nations hindered the true black 12 tribes of Israel from rebuilding the temple for many years. Now watch verse 73 is the point. "And by their secret plots and popular persuasions and commotions, they hindered the finishing of the building all the time that King Cyrus lived." So they were hindered from building for the space of 2 years until the reign of Darius. So let's look at that again. "And by their secret plots." What's a secret plot? A secret plot, for example, is a plan to accomplish a purpose, and it's usually a hostile and an unlawful evil plan. Okay, that's what it means by secret plot. To destroy the 12 tribes of Israel, to make them forget who they truly are, to make the world forget who they truly are. That's a secret plot. Then it says, "and popular persuasions." You know, popular persuasions, like they'll use trigger words like anti-Semitism, hate speech, and they use things like Hollywood, the internet, and television to brainwash the people using their popular persuasions, okay? Then it says, "and commotions." They get the people, they cause commotions against the Israelites. It happened then, it's happening now, okay? Now let's go from there, let's go to Revelation 12:15. All right, we're in Revelation 12, verse 15. Now, I know a lot of you don't understand the symbolism that the Bible speaks of, so I'm just going to help you out. Now, if you want to learn more, you can definitely come to our classes. You can watch online if you're so afraid. It reads, "And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood." To understand the serpent, let's jump up to verse 9. "And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan," here's the key, "which deceiveth the whole world." Who's deceiving the whole world via television, via the media, via the news? Who is deceiving the whole world? Now I know right now you're going, "Oh, the spiritual demon Satan. He's coming down going, ooh, be deceived." Yes, it was a spiritual demon Satan, according to your Christian churches, that set Israel up as a nation, as a state in 1948. Oh, no, it wasn't Britain and America. Oh, no. It was a spirit that came down and did that. It was a spirit that taught us in school that Christopher Columbus discovered America, and that the Indians were savages and had no understanding of how to read or how to write. Yes, they were so ignorant. Yeah, it was a spirit that came down and taught us that in schools. You big dummies, you. So now when we get to verse, I'm being sarcastic. I hope y'all know that. Verse 15. "And the serpent cast out of his mouth." So this serpent represents white society. This serpent is the great red dragon, that old serpent called the devil and Satan. So when it says in verse 15, "and a serpent cast out of his mouth," what do with your mouth? You communicate with your mouth. You take in, you give out with your mouth, okay? Your mouth is generally used for communication. So, what would we call the mouth of this great red dragon, of this serpent today? You would call it their news. You would call it television. You would call it movies. You would call it Hollywood. You would call it their newspapers. You would call it the Disney Channel. You would call it Fox Network. You would call it ABC. Anything by Caucasians, you would call it NBC, nothing but Caucasians. You'd call it CNN, the Caucasian News Network. That's the mouth of the serpent. So let's read verse 15 again. "And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood. What does it mean? Water as a flood? Who would cast out water? What does that mean? Let's go to the book of Hebrews. How is this water to carry us away? What does it mean? It's symbolism. Let's go to the book of Hebrews, chapter 13. Bear with me. And verse 9. And it reads, Be not carried about with divers and strange doctrines. For it is a good thing that the heart be established with grace, not with meats, talking about sacrifices, which have not profited them that have been occupied therein. So in verse 9, it says, Be not carried about with divers and strange doctrines. So when we go back to Revelation 12:15, and a serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood, meaning this water that comes from the mouth, from the media, is to carry us about with divers and strange doctrines, like Christianity, like democracy, republicanism, false history, their false understanding of medicine, like medical apartheid, for example. Yeah, I think a lot of you need to get that book, Medical Apartheid, to see where the white man got their understanding on what level of medicine they have today. It all stems from the backs of the slaves, the blood and tears of slaves. Okay? So let's read Revelation 12:15 again. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman. Who's the woman in Revelation 12? Well, when you jump back to verse 1, and there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, meaning the laws of God. That's what the sun and moon represents, the Old and New Testament. And upon her head, a crown of 12 stars. So this woman represents the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, back to Revelation 12:15. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood, meaning carried away of divers and strange doctrines. Christianity, politics, Islam, Buddhism. You can look at all that on TV. You get all these strange religions coming through the TV. Nothing but lies, lie after lie after lie. Then it reads, verse 16, And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. What does the earth represent? The earth represents Christ. Remember, he said, Thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church. Christ was referring to himself. He is the chief cornerstone. So when it talks about, and the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood, meaning swallowed up the lies, the divers and strange doctrines, which the dragon cast out of his mouth, his media. The Bible is the earth that opens her mouth to swallow up lie after lie after lie. We're living that right now. Now watch verse 17. Here comes the kicker. And the dragon was wroth with the woman. So this white man's going to come to a point where they get so mad because they can't defend their lives no more against the Israelites, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, talking about us, which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus, have the testimony of the black Messiah. That's what it's talking about. They're going to kill a lot of us. Laws will be changed to shut this truth down. It's being called hate speech now. When you read such things as Jeremiah 14:2, Judah mourneth the gates of language, they are black. Oh, that's hatred. What? Revelation 2:9, I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but a synagogue of Satan. That's hate speech, anti-Semitism. Stop reading that like that. That's the laws that's in the works now. I'm telling you before it comes to pass. I'm telling you before it comes to pass. You see, now it's hate speech if you talk about homosexuality. Why isn't it hate speech when you talk about adultery? How come that's not hate speech? How come it's not hate speech when you say black women have more abortions than any other woman on earth? How come that's not hate speech? How come it's not hate speech when black people say they want to kill black people? How come that's not hate speech? But the second you speak against so-called Jewish people, white folks, that's hate speech. That's anti-Semitism. Oh, come on, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop the lies. Did y'all forget what J. Edgar Hoover said? It says, when FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover was asked what, in his opinion, was the single greatest threat to the United States of America, he responded, Negro unity. Negro unity. I want all of you to take a moment to let that sink in. You can't make this stuff up. So today, when you try to bring the black family together, when you try to bring the black community together, when you try to bring black people together as a nation, you know what white society calls that? Hate speech, anti-Semitism. Oh, you're a black supremacist. We are trying to unite our families, our communities, our nation, and you call that hatred. I want y'all to see the mentality of how these white folks think, how this is why the Bible calls them the synagogue of Satan. Now I want to have a conversation with my black brothers and sisters in the entertainment world, whether it's Hollywood or the sports world or whatever, even the comedians. I want you all to just take a listen to this. I'm opening with Matthew 16 and verse 26. Christ said this, for what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? For the Son of Man shall come in the glory of his Father with his angels, and then he shall reward every man according to his works. Now, I know a lot of you in Hollywood and the entertainment world, NFL, NBA, NFL, whatever. You do little side things where you may pay someone's college tuition. That's nice. That's fine. You may pay for a funeral here and there. That's nice. That's fine. You donate money to HBCUs. That's nice. That's fine. White owners, white handlers don't mind any of that. But if you try to support anything what society calls radical, I give an example. Sam Cooke. He told Martin Luther King and Malcolm X that he would support them working together financially. Sam Cooke had a strange death sometime after that, so it never came to fruition. I want you black celebrities to think about this. If you stand for nothing, you fall for anything. If you don't stand for the truth of the glorious gospel, if you want to be on the sidelines and be respected by the very people who oppressed, enslaved, and destroyed your race, so be it. But understand this, when the Lord returns with his mighty angels, you will receive judgment. Okay, from there, let's go to Luke chapter 16 and verse 15. This is another thing Christ said about the black scribes and Pharisees who are high in society under Rome. They did the bidding of Rome. Watch what Christ says to them. In the same message that Christ gave to them, I'm giving to you black entertainers, the sports world, hell, even the black churches. Yes, you too. And he said unto them, ye are they which justify yourselves before men. What men did they justify themselves before? Rome. Who do y'all justify yourselves before today? America and the UK. Ye are they which justify yourselves before men, but God knoweth your hearts. For that which is highly esteemed among men is abomination in the sight of God. Let's read that bottom part again. For that which is highly esteemed among men. Oh, I love the black Hollywood. I love the entertainers. I love the sports legends. I love you. I love you. I love the comedians. I love you. For that which is highly esteemed among men is abomination in the sight of God. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Now let's go to the Old Testament. This is what the Lord said regarding the Israelites high up in society. Like you actors, you sports legends, you comedians, you church pastors. Jeremiah 9, verse 3. And they bend their tongues like their bow for lies. So you use your tongue like a weapon to spread lies, like Hollywood lies. I'll give an example. There's an actress called Cynthia, what's her name? Erivo, where she portrayed Harriet Tubman. And in the movie, the white man was her love interest somewhat, and the black man was her arch enemy. And not one of you black entertainers spoke against that garbage. You all need to be ashamed of yourselves. Your ancestors are turning in their graves. Let's read that again, Jeremiah 9 and 3. And they bend their tongues like their bow for lies, but they are not valiant for the truth upon the earth. For they proceed from evil to evil, and they know not me, saith the Lord. So none of you in Hollywood, the sports world, you don't know the Lord. You don't fear the Lord. You fear your white slave masters, your owners. Okay, is that a nicer word instead of slave masters? Your white slave owners? Does that make you feel better? From there, let's go to Ephesians. I'm going back to the New Testament now. See, this is why I'm getting on black Hollywood, black sports players, comedians. Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 3. Endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. Now, did you all notice that one word that I want to pull out of that verse? It says endeavoring to keep the unity. Unity! Black people, you've never seen unity. We tried to bring it to the churches with the church blitz. They saw it as war. You
still in the ghetto? He love you, whether you're right or wrong. He come to save you. He's a deliverer, and it don't matter if he comes back up you, baby. Give me Ezekiel. Jesus as my savior. That's my the one I can go to. Read what you got. The one I can go to. Jesus Christ. It don't matter what color he is. It don't matter. Y'all better watch and you better see the truth.
You're trying to get us to change our doctrine. Hell yeah, because your doctrine is a damnable lie, pushing white supremacy. We're telling you you're the 12 tribes of Israel, and we must unite. And you despise that thing. Black Hollywood, you see your brothers go into war, and you don't stand with nothing. You stand for nothing. Now, I'm not saying everything Kanye said is right. I can't speak for Kanye or Brother Ye. I can't speak for him. But I could say this. He is correct when he says we are the Jews, when he says we are the 12 tribes of Israel. I can proudly say that is correct according to the Bible. I can say that. I've studied that. I know that. So Ephesians 4 verse 3 again, endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. There is one body, that means one people, and one Spirit, even as ye are called in one hope of your calling. There's one calling, brothers and sisters, one Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is above all and through all and in you all. So if this unity and all this oneness, one this, one that, where'd all these various religions come from? Where'd all these political groups come from? Your enemies. The white man and white woman that enslaved and destroyed our ancestors and oppress us today. This ain't hate speech, this is love. This is a declaration of love for our 12 tribes. From there, let's go to Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 1. Zephaniah 2 verse 1 reads, "Gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired." Do you hear that, Black Hollywood, you black actors and actresses? Do you sports legends hear this? Do you comedians hear this? Do you black politicians hear this? It says, "Gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired." I'll sum it up with one word. It's the same word Paul used in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 3. Unity, unity, unity. And the bottom part says, "O nation not desired." In case you haven't realized it, brothers and sisters, you're not desired. I know a lot of you used to like to say, the white man only cares about his money. Ask Brother Ye, who's losing endorsement after endorsement. White man don't care about your money. His main goal is his secret plot, popular persuasions and commotions, okay? So that the truth of who we are never gets out in mainstream media. That's what it is. That's what it's all about. Verse 2, "Before the decree, bring forth." So God is saying before his decree of destruction, he's commanding the 12 tribes of Israel to gather themselves together as the Israelites. You cannot gather as Baptists, Pentecostals, Lutherans, or Muslims. That ain't what the Bible's about. The Bible's only about the 12 tribes of Israel. Verse 2 again, "Before the decree, bring forth, before the day pass as the chaff," talking about destruction, "before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you, before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you." So I'm giving you love. I'm trying to prevent you from being destroyed during this coming Armageddon that's coming. World War III, as the media calls it. Verse 3, "Seek ye the Lord, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. Seek righteousness, seek meekness. It may be ye shall be hid in the day of the Lord's anger." Now, I don't know about you, but as for me and mine, we want to be hid in the day of the Lord's anger. You can stand proudly and wave the red, white, and blue flag if you want when the Lord returns. You're going to be ashes to ashes and dust to dust through thermonuclear fire. Verse 4, "For Gaza shall be forsaken." Where's that at, Gaza? It's in the land of Israel. "And Ashkelon, the desolation." Where's that at? The land of Israel. "They shall drive out Ashdod at the noonday." Ashdod is going to be destroyed off the face of the map. "And Ekron today is called Telminkni. And Ekron shall be rooted up." It's letting you know that Israel, the land of Israel, is going to be wiped out. Even the coast of Palestine shall be wiped out. So the Lord is saying, gather yourselves together before this comes to pass, brothers and sisters. Some of you listen, some of you don't. Well, with that, let's get to the reading of the shout out letters and donations, shall we? All right, let's get to the reading of the shout out letters and donations. All right. Got quite a bit here. Y'all bear with me. The first one's a card that says, "Just want to thank you and ask the Lord to shower you with his blessings. This is my alms, Maria B." Thank you, Maria. All praises, all praises. All righty. Let me move this. All right. Next letter reads, "Shalom, Bishop Nathaniel. Thank you again for the truth. We've been out of touch, but yet still listening and learning and taking notes. We're attending the Dallas camp. The officers, captain, all leadership show us much love and welcome us home. Shout out to Deacon Isaac." And it felt like it. "We have now been to 3 Sabbaths in a row. All praises. We will continue. We had car trouble, then the weather storm, so we will be back. Pray for us as we pray for you to do things God has for you. My wife watches your wife following teachings and health, and she loves it. I have many things to say. I'll keep it short. You are a true prophet of God, and IUIC raises up the prophets of God. Bless you, Bishop. We are listening. We are watching. For God has said, I will raise up prophets after my own will." That's IUIC. All praises. This is from Barry, Loretta, and Zanaya. of Dallas. All praises to the Lord. Thank y'all so much. The next letter reads, Dear Bishop Nathaniel, Shalom Bishop, Most High in Christ bless you. I really hope you are feeling better. And I just want to say, I miss you and glad you came back. Also, me and my family have been watching online since I was 5. I am now 10 years old. We joined IUIC in May, and in May of last year, all praise to the Most High. We also had our first Passover in Orlando, Florida. Orlando, shout out to Captain OC and Captain Tazwan. We enjoyed it so much. I also got the opportunity to meet Mother Shamar. It was an honor to meet and take pictures with her. One more thing I would like to say is I pray the Lord keeps his spirit on you and hope you get stronger and stronger every day. From Dasa, Israel, House of Soldier Baruch Ben Judah, IUIC Atlanta. All praises. Thank y'all so much. That's a special one right there. The next one's a note. It reads, thank you, leadership, for all you do. Use this where you see fit. Karen. Thank you, Sister Karen. This next one reads, Dear Bishop Nathaniel, 1. Shalom, General, Most High in Christ bless. I give all glory and praise to the Most High for the understanding that the Father has given the leadership, and the unity that the brothers display is extremely extraordinary. Bishop, this is the 4th letter I have sent you, and I am counting. Tabernacles is coming. So I'm doing this after Tabernacles. So, I got this late. Tabernacles is coming, my favorite feast, and I am excited. But since I can't congregate due to age and length of drive, I wanted to send alms to fill that gap. Tobit 12:9. So I hope you accept these alms and use them wherever they are needed, preferably to boost the club to help the prophet spread this glorious gospel. Last thing, Bishop, Men's Conference was very inspirational for Israel worldwide, especially the quote, if they stand behind us, we protect them. If they stand beside us, we respect them. But if they stand against us, we destroy them. You forgot the part, in the spirit of the Lord. In my 15-year-old voice. All praises for that thing, Bishop. Continue the great work. And I will always keep you and your household and all Israel in my prayer. Shalom. Most High in Christ bless. P.S. Bishop, could you explain Titus 3:9 about genealogies? Yes. Let me get it real quick. All right. Titus 3:9 reads, but avoid foolish questions and genealogies and contentions and strivings about the law, for they are unprofitable and vain. So your question was about the genealogies part. Paul is teaching us through Titus not to get involved into the endless genealogies, because it goes on and on and on. And remember, as children of the slave trade, children of the captivity, our history gets cut off. Records have been burned, records have been lost. And then assumptions are made and misgivings are adhered to. So be very mindful about these genealogies. Okay, the only genealogy that the prophets, the apostles mandatorily had to learn was the genealogy of Christ, to prove that he was a descendant of King David through Joseph. He was also descended through Mary. So Christ's genealogy was very important to know at that time. They had to prove that he was the descendant of David that was prophesied for to come. But our genealogy, you and me, this is all by faith. Understand that. I want everybody to understand that this is by faith. We know we're Israelites, like it says in Romans 8:16. The Spirit itself bears witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. Okay? I hope you understand. I hope everybody understands that. This letter was from Josiah. Cameron Josiah. All praises. The next letter is Shalom IUIC and Bishop. In these last days, I'm just wanting and needing to say IUIC really made a change in the world, and that leadership pray for the nation of Israel. To endure in these last days, thank you. Pray the Lord give me strength to do his will. For all you do, use this where you see fit. Pray that at least one of my boys open their eyes to this truth. Because of my absence, they think Christ is a white Oh, devil. Woo! Well, let's send a prayers for that thing. This is from, this says, Shalom, Derek S. All right, brother Derek, we're definitely going to send a prayers for you and your children. Okay. The next letter reads, Dear Bishop, IUIC is so powerful getting the word to our people. It is sad that my city, New Orleans, is now the murder capital of the country. Watching IUIC positive effect in other cities with high crime issues makes a statement to ward off black-on-black hatred in heavy populated black cities. Bishop, it would help if you can have a show of the Prophet's Army of God come to New Orleans, if possible. Marching down Canal Street, as always, continuing to pray for you, your family, IUIC, and the 12 tribes worldwide. I'm enclosing alms to be used as you see fit. This is from, I see your English name or French name, and I see your Hebrew name, Ahuviel Achi Adai. Ahuviel Akai Adai. I don't know how you pronounce that. I think it's Aki or Akai. P.S. Please add me to your prayer list. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, Lord's will, Captain Shem is over New Orleans. I'll speak to him, and Lord's will, he can organize something to march, have the Army of God march down Canal Street. All right? All right, all praises. Next letter reads, Dear Bishop Nathaniel, all praises and prayers to you and your family. May the Most High continue to bless you and our nation as we grow in spirit and in truth. Most High in Christ bless Sister Louise P. of Arlington, Virginia. All praises. Thank you, Sister Louise. All praises. The next one reads, Shalom, Bishop. All praises to the Most High. I am 72 years old and have come to learn this truth about 6 months. I have come out of Christianity and thank you, and I am learning the true history and how to live according to, I think it's this truth, says the Lord. Please pray my strength for my grandsons. I don't have much, but please never worry about not having much, brothers and sisters. Whatever you can donate is appreciated, and the Lord will multiply it back to you. And we thank the Lord for you and your consideration for supporting this truth. Please take these alms and apply them so you see the need, where you see the need. Waking up is a beautiful thing to this truth that is factual. Thank you for all your work and for leadership. I am grateful. My son was looking at YouTube and was touched. He in turn told me and my siblings. All I can say is all praises to be able to sit at the table and gain knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, but to learn my, please, you have to excuse, I'm reading script, okay? Please, Israelite woman is awesome to learn to be silent and to respect God's order. Sister Norma R. Well, all praises, Sister Norma. It is definitely a blessing for the Lord to wake you up at 72 years young. That is truly, truly a blessing. Okay. All right. The next letter reads, Shalom, Bishop Nathaniel. I just wanted to send you a letter to let you know I'm pretty new to donating to IUIC, so I wasn't privy to the rules and regulations you mentioned September 19th in regards to some of the leaders having different names, government names, from their IUIC biblical names. So I'm sorry for sending donations incorrectly. It's okay. A lot of people don't know, so this is why I have to regularly repeat it. Some of us have officially changed our names. Some have not as of yet. Okay, so just be aware of that. So make it out to IUIC, and then in the memo you can put who you want it to go to. All right. So please bear with me through this process. Don't be mad at me. No, I'm not. I'm not mad. At least now I know what to do because you explained it during the above dated Shout Out Tuesday. In addition, it's okay if you have to return the money orders due to them not being addressed correctly. I would have no issue resubmitting those donations and no problem redepositing the money orders. You have to send back. In final, I also will mention that my initial donations were mailed out prior to your correction on how to address them. So again, I apologize for the misunderstanding. This is from Sister Geraldine R. Geraldine, no problems, no worries. Now you know. Now all listeners, now they know. Okay. All praises. The ones who I know officially changed their name, you got Deacon Ithan, Deacon Abiel, myself, let me think, Deacon Isaac, let me think, who else? Who else? Who else? Out of the bishops and deacons, that's it. So this is why I say, I'm laughing. Put it in the name IUIC, and in the memo, put who you want it to go to. All right. Thank you, Geraldine. All praise to the Lord. Thank you so much. The next letter reads, Shalom, Bishop Nathaniel. Thank you for leading us into the truth with your leadership and teaching. We are stunned and elated to learn that we are the children of Israel. We have learned more from IUIC in 18 months than in 60 years of Christianity. Wow! All praises to the Most High. We pray that you and all IUIC leadership stay healthy and strong in the faith, while you keep God's army in step to spread the truth worldwide. 12 tribes. Francis and Christy B.I. All praises. Thank you so much. All right, the next letter reads, Shalom, Bishop Nathaniel. I pray that when you receive this letter, it finds you and the rest of the organization in the best of health. I know you don't remember me. I'm the 80-year-old paraplegic that was a Jehovah's Witness. Oh, I remember now. But now I follow you out. I follow you guys. Out of 24 hours, I spend 14 to 16 hours in bed for the past 7 or 8 months. I never heard my name read out on Shout Out Tuesday. P.S. Love you guys, and I support you until I die. Keep up the good work. Douglas M. Now, I don't read the last names out, so Douglas, maybe you heard it, but you didn't hear me read your last name. This is Douglas M. Okay, and I'll have Deacon Asaph call you because I see you put your phone number here. We have received everything you have sent, and we thank you so much. All right. And the reason I don't read the last names because we have many enemies who, like in the Christian apologetics, you have the group that left us in 2018. They're looking for the names of the people they can contact, sow discord, and spread evil. All right, so this is the reason I don't read the last names. All right, so the next letter reads, My dearest brother, friend, and leader, I greatly, I greet you in the name of the Most High, the great I am, the one and only King of Kings. Please accept these alms to further the gathering of our nation as worldly events are demonstrating that the prophecy is real and imminent. I pray that our King strengthens you and our nation. I yearn for the return of the Messiah to rid me of this shell body and of this world. I pray for an increase of faith, wisdom, and discernment for us. Please keep me in your prayer until the kingdom come. This is from Pierre D, a.k.a. David Ben-I. All praises, David. All praises. Your prayer is my prayer for us all. All praises. All right, the next one reads, Hi, Bishop. All praise to the Most High. Glad you are feeling better and getting back to the Lord's work. The body greatly appreciates you and the leadership. This is my monthly alms. Use it as it seems fit. Thank you, Anonymous E. Please let me know if you get this. Love Shout Out Tuesdays. Yes, Anonymous E, we got it, and we thank you. All right, this next card is a card. It says, thank you so much. There's a letter inside. Thank you, Bishop, for being a loving father to the daughters of Israel. Sister Hepzibah. All praises. Let me read this. It reads, Shalom, Bishop. Thank you very much for being a vessel of honor that the Most High is using to get his daughters' minds right. Mine was not right at all. I must say, shout out to Deacon Asaph. Shout out to Deacon Asaph. He really inspires me to hold on. I have been listening to Friday Night Raw since 2016 when the Most High called me. Bishop, I met you in Guyana. Wow. When you were first there. My name is Sister Hepzibah. I still have my photo with you and Deacon Isaac. Shout out to Deacon Isaac and the group. I'm living in Northern Ireland, wow, since 2005. I would normally send my donations via PayPal. Please give this donation to Deacon Asaph. Okay, will do. As a matter of fact, I did it already. Next time I will send a copy of the photo with you and the group. Fond memories, Sister Hepzibah. All praises. Hey, Sister Hepzibah, Lord's will, maybe you could set something up for us to have a meet and greet of any believers that's in Ireland. I'm pretty sure brothers would love to go and share the gospel with our brothers and sisters in Ireland, okay? All praises. The next one reads, letter reads, Shalom, Bishop Nathaniel, blessings to you and your family and Israel. We are sending in our arms, and we thank you for all you and the brothers do. The work that's being put out to wake up the Israelites is very much seen, and my son and I are letting it all soak in. After thinking that we were the only two in our town to know who we are and where we came from, we are seeing that we are not. My son has had the opportunity to speak with several guys who have looked into what he shared with them and have took the information and began to open up to their families. All praises to the Most High. I'm going to end it here. I wanted you to know that we appreciate everything 12 tribes worldwide. This is read Shalom from Rhonda and Michael. Thank you so much, Rhonda and Michael. All praises. Keep doing what y'all doing. All praises. All right. Now let's get to the reading of the shout out donation. We want to give a shout out of thanks to Willie R. Thank you, Willie. Shout out of thanks to Tony T. Shout out of thanks to JDM. Shout out of thanks to Lisa HS of Columbus, Georgia. Shout out of thanks to Judy HF of North Carolina. Shout out of thanks to the company Brooks. Shout out of thanks to Karen W. Shout out of thanks to Brother Josiah. Shout out of thanks to Derek S. of California. Shout out of thanks to Sheila K. and Jada R. Shout out of thanks to... I can't read it, but thank you so much. Shout out of thanks to Louise E.P. Shout out of thanks again to Louise E.P. Louise E.P. again. All praises. Shout out of thanks to Scott B. of Ohio. Shout out of thanks to Darda D. Shout out of thanks to Robin and Daniel W. Shout out of thanks to Francis D.H. of Leavenworth, Kansas. Shout out of thanks, I can't read that one, but Lord knows. Shout out of thanks to Norma R. Shout out of thanks to Linda M. and Geraldine R. All praises. Shout out of thanks to Marion F. Shout out of thanks to Francis A.T. Then it says, or Christy J.B. of Indianapolis. Shout out of thanks to Douglas M. See, Douglas, we got it. Douglas M. a second time. All praises. Shout out of thanks to Charles M. Shout out of thanks to Karen B. Shout out of thanks to Pierre D.F. of Brooklyn, New York. Shout out of thanks to Pierre D.F. of Brooklyn, New York again. Shout out of thanks to Carrie J. All praises. Shout out of thanks to, there's no signature. This one is anonymous. Shout out of thanks to Jacqueline T.K. Shout out of thanks to Jerry L.P. of Rockingham, North Carolina. Shout out of thanks to Geraldine J. Shout out of thanks to, who is this from? There's a bank name on here. It says Chuck P. But that's the authorized signature from the bank. That's not who's sending this. Well, the Lord knows. All praises. May the Lord bless you 1,000-fold. All praises. We want to give a shout out of thanks to Bridget T. of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Shout out of thanks to LaDonna V. of Virginia. Shout out of thanks to Danny L.P. Shout out of thanks to Pelalila I. All praises. Shout out of thanks to German G of Texas. Shout out of thanks to George S of Brooklyn. Shout out of thanks to O. Howard. O. Howard. All praises. Shout out of thanks to D. Scully. Shout out of thanks to D. Scully again. Shout out of thanks to Michael B. Michael B. one more time. Michael B. one more time. And Michael B. one more time. Well, all praises, brothers, sisters. You know how I love to say, let's all of us stay healthy. Let's stay faithful. Let's stay focused. But most of all, let's all of us stay in the spirit. Most High in Christ bless you all. Love you. Shalom.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are how men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.